And this was not to be a symbolic gesture or a measure of goodwill and act in good faith, but call them out for the very reasons that we're elected. That's why I was elected, to call them out. So if you guys want to fold your hand, I gave you an ace in the hole. They're not going to touch that TAD. No way. Ace in the hole. Senate Bill 1426 is the vehicle. They're going to take the $200 million. No, it's not a party to their schemata, their budget process. They're not going to need the $200 million of our rail tax money to respond to having to have a public hearing because the bill crossed the Senate to the House by pulling it and making it a floor action. They're merely gutting, replacing, making an amendment. Then it goes to conference committee. There'll be a hearing. So due process, fair play. I can't wait to put an end to the $16 million fleecing and the profiteering off a rail tax. That was never the intent of Act 247 in 2005, House Bill 1309 CD1. It was never the intention. When Governor Lingle brokered this deal with Mayor Hanneman says, we don't have the means set up to do this. Just like the state doesn't have the means to collect an impact fee. The city does property taxes. So when the city took it upon themselves to collect the 2% administrative fee, to collect the impact fee on all the development out on the other plain, the city said, why don't we contemplate taking 10%? I'd be after this body too if they did that. For fair play, fair play. And so I want to thank everybody. I'm very passionate. I want to thank everybody for understanding my passion, because I'm feeling 45,000 people behind me just from District 1 pushing me at this microphone right now. I feel them. I'm not going to give up on them. Thank you, Chair. Members.
Thank you, Councilmember Berg, and I feel that the people of District 1 appreciate the fact that you're taking this matter for our consideration. Further discussion among the members? Okay. If there is no other motion than the motion that is before us, I will call. There will be a vote. Okay? Okay. I'm sorry. Councilmember Anderson.
We're gonna take a vote to pass the measure out.
I don't hear any motion, sir. Yeah. There's no other motion other than calling for the motion that's already on the floor. There's no other. Councilmember Chang?
Mr. Chair, if you'll entertain a motion to table this measure. Before
I act on that and call for a second, as I understand it, when you table the motion, it will be brought up in the next floor session, which is next Wednesday. As I said, this doesn't go away just by simply tabling the motion. Am I correct? Am I correct? Next week, Wednesday, we bring this up again. If you folks want to have this argument over again next week, Wednesday, you're welcome to it. Do I hear a second to tabling the motion so we can be heard next Wednesday? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Discussion about tabling the motion till next week, Wednesday. Councilmember Chang.
Mr. Chair, the meeting for the full council meeting, the agenda rather for the full council meeting on Wednesday has not yet been posted, and so
I can still post it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So we're not, we don't know what will be on. I mean, whether or not we table this measure today, it may or may not appear on the agenda next Wednesday. Is that correct?
If the motion succeeds, it will be moved. It will be moved to Wednesday, and it will be on the agenda. If this motion succeeds, I'll see to it.
I see. And was that why, Mr. Chair, you would rather vote up or down on the measure itself?
No.
Well, speaking for myself, I think you already heard what I said. We will go through this again next week, Wednesday. It's up to the individual member to decide for himself or herself if he or she wants to take this up again on Wednesday, if this motion succeeds. Are you done?
I see. Okay. In that case, Mr. Chair, I'd like to withdraw my motion.
And I will withdraw my second.
Okay. We still have the motion before us on whether to adopt Resolution 11-91 CD1. Any further motions? Councilmember Anderson.
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Further discussion. Yes, sir, since you've not been heard yet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am in support of moving the resolution forward.
But I feel compelled to make another statement based on some of the other things that were being said. Although we are voting on the resolution itself, at this point, we cannot separate the methods that have been attached to this resolution. I have never been afraid to take a stand, not afraid of how that might affect someone else. I think we do need to do the right thing. But in this case, I am equally passionate in saying this is not the right thing to do at this time. And I really want to go on record saying I'm not voting against the issue, but because you cannot separate these very, very inflammatory remarks with the resolution. Unfortunately, that is the reality. I cannot, in good conscience, vote for this measure because of all of these things that are attached to it. I just cannot do that. So I want to go on record saying while I support the resolution, I cannot condone these kinds of statements being made. It is just not something that I want to be attached with. So for those reasons, I need to be on record saying, explaining why I'm voting against this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Harimoto. Before I call on anyone else to speak, let me say this as the presiding officer of this council. I want to remind the members that during discussion, that we try to restrain ourselves from questioning motives and methods of a colleague. I know we're trying to clip our words very judiciously, but I did not intend this session to be a reprimand session of a colleague. Any one of you can introduce a measure for our consideration. In this case, this is a special session being called out of respect for a colleague. And I expect the members to extend those courtesies and respect to a colleague. Now, I understand you are equally as passionate as the member who introduced this resolution. But let's just be careful about questioning methods and motives. Thank you. Are there any objections to the resolution? Raise your hand.
Can we say objection with reservation?
There's yes with reservations. There's no.
Yeah, right there.
Madam Clerk, how many objections registered?
Can I do a roll call? No.
And somebody needs to call for that. I don't call for it.
I'd like a
Roll
roll call,
call.
Chair.
Okay. Roll call vote has been seconded. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Councilmember Anderson,
Aye.
Councilmember Berg,
For my clarification, you asked to raise your hand if you
I'm
object.
sorry.
So now we're taking roll
Just
call
roll call
in favor of the resolution, right?
Well, just state
So
whatever.
so yes is
nay.
in favor of the resolution.
Yes, sir.
That's a yes.
I suspected so, sir.
Councilmember Cachola.
No with reservation.
I'm sorry, Councilmember, there is no. It's a no.
Yes, sir.
A no is a no. It's not no with
So only
reservations.
aye with reservation.
We have yes with reservations.
Then I'll go no.
All right, it's a straight no,
You're going
Madam
no.
Clerk.
Councilmember Chang.
No.
Councilmember Gabbard Tamayo.
No.
Councilmember Harimoto.
No.
Councilmember Kobayashi.
No.
Councilmember Martin.
No.
Councilmember Garcia.
Aye with reservations.
Mr. Chair, we have 3 ayes and 6 no.
Okay, the resolution fails. Members, thank you.